I am back again. I figured maybe some of you missed me. Just joking. But seriously, I know y'all did. I'm sat up here and taking a lazy Sunday nap. Missed half my afternoon. Came and went just that quick. Hope everybody's doing fine. Hope everybody had enough Easter dinner. And I hope it was delicious. On this, what is one of the biggest financial expenditures of a holiday. And don't get me wrong, I used to be like that. I used to be that person. I couldn't wait for, Thanksgiving and Christmas to come around and get all these gifts and do all those things. And I still do, but at a lower scale. Because if you really think about it, some of the gifts I've given, even some of the gifts I've received, don't even remember them. Gone. But that's not the cry for spilled milk. It's just simple fact is, why do we put so much emphasis on these holidays that's costing a lot of us to spend all this money that we don't have? I'm just gonna pause there until I get some people that's in here. I can wait patiently. Which is gonna be hard to do because I got this television on behind me. I end up watching it more than I do my own screen that's in front of me, causing my own distractions. But as always, I like to give this thing some time for people to get on here and see what everybody is up to. They say you have to be patient sometimes when it comes to things like this. And I have been patient. Hello, everyone. Welcome aboard. I kind of started off a little fast before anybody got in here. And I'll make a reference to Easter, not so much as Easter, but all of these holidays where with the correlation between the two, Easter and Christmas, being two of the biggest holidays where we tend to spend a lot of money. And but the question is, why do we? Why do we spend all this money? Why do we run up these credit card bills on all these gifts? And I used to be that person. I absolutely love Christmas. And I will go overboard just the minute I think I'm done shopping and I've wrapped all my gifts. I want to go out and get something else because I got caught up in it. But now I've streamlined it and I don't get caught up in the need to spend all this money for holidays. Like for me, if you wish me a happy Easter, I wish you a happy Easter. Hey, for the better part of our pockets, that's enough for me. And I wasn't so concerned on, like for Christmas, I wasn't that concerned on what somebody got me because I would go out of my way to wrap a $5 gift perfectly, just as much as I would a $200 gift. But I think now when everybody's trying to survive and trying to make it, and the name of the game is survival, I don't think we should be out here running up these credit cards on all these gifts that are way, way, way too expensive. And we're just wasting money. We're throwing good money after bad. So when you're doing that, and then when you look at your bank statements and your credit card statements and the way they trick you, if you are new to the credit card game, they start you off with this small amount with a very high interest. And you may think, well, it's $500. I can pay it off in no time. But how many of us really get this credit card with this $500 limit? Then they've already charged you $75 of that. At least you $425. Everything being this high, Now you've maxed out that credit card with this high interest rate that's going to take you a while to pay off. So that $500 card, although it was a good idea at the time, by the time you get all that stuff paid off, if you never use that card again, by the time you pay it all off, you've given that company $300 to $400 more. So the last 20 years or more, I never would put anything on a credit card when it came to Christmas. I would save up for it, and I would just pay cash for everything and use my debit card, which is still cash. But I think we need to be careful about the amount of money we're spending, that we just need to pull back on what we're spending. So, like today, and I know a lot of you that have little kids and little grandkids, you want to do the best for them. But you still could have done it, or we could do it, and probably spend less than half the amount of money that we probably spent today. I myself, I didn't spend anything other than my normal daily Sunday of relaxation. I spent time. I sat up here and took me a nice afternoon nap. Peace and quiet on a Sunday afternoon. Like I say, I typically don't go out much on Sundays anyway. That's one day that I pretty much try to stay in, unless I happen to go to the park. I wish I was too lazy to do that today. And today's not over, but I do like to go and get my little brief walk in. And the thing of it is that when they was talking about a couple of weeks ago with all these stores that was going to boycott for whatever reason, and they tried to tie it all into government stuff for this, that, and that, and third. These companies are actually telling everybody they were going to boycott and be closed today, when they've been closed every Easter since I can remember. And they just want to just throw their names in the hat, jump on the bandwagon. And to me, that's another brand of false advertisement, because they know that, well, if this company's doing it, they must be a great company. Then they're going to be drumming up business because they put it out there to the masses that we're on board with everything society stands for. When, truth be told, they're always closed on Easter Sunday. So what it is that people, they'll get into this situation, these companies, and people sit there and lie to your face and try to convince you that they have your best interest at heart when they don't. But we're still spending all of this money until we as consumers caught wind of it. And that's why a lot of people stop spending all this money on Black Friday and all these other mass holidays and things of that nature, and cause these companies to start to shut down. And what's funny is we all used to run around saying that Walmart put all these mom and pop stores out of business. No, it wasn't. It wasn't Walmart. It was us, because we stopped going to the mom and pops. But if we're not continuing to go to the smaller stores and the smaller businesses, we drove them out of business. It was not Walmart. But see, it's funny how we all can do something like that, and we quick to blame somebody else. We have to blame ourselves. A lot of us don't go to the few remaining smaller stores anymore. We'd rather go to the big box because we think it's more convenient. Man, essentially it's not. Because once they move into your community and they shut down all these stores because we don't go to them no more, then they start raising prices. If y'all don't believe me, you stop. The same Walmart you used to go into for the same stuff you used to buy. Stop at one in another town and see how much higher the prices are. They finally put stores like that in the inner city areas, and the prices was higher. And the representative had the nerve to get on news and say, it was because of theft was high. Theft was costing them a lot of money. So if theft is happening nationwide, you're gonna target and blame the poorest communities that have that store. They got it in reverse. They always expect us to spend more money because of economic background that we're in. Well, we're in a situation where we're making the least amount of money. We're in a considered bad area, but they're overcharging us. And yes, a true fact. Insurance companies have been like that forever. That's why they was basing insurance on zip code. Just because you have to live in a particular zip code does not mean that section of your zip code is bad. But we're being penalized because of where we live. And I think a lot of people don't really realize that. And if that's all you have to pay is your auto insurance and your car note, it probably don't even bother you that much. But you try to be in a situation to where you are running a household, plus auto insurance, plus the car note, plus utilities. And then you watch how the insurance companies, all of a sudden you get your premium and you've been with them 5 years and they give you a hike. You got every right to call the insurance company. Don't just talk to somebody, one of these receptionists that's just there to handle calls. You need to call that particular insurance company directly and find out. And especially if you have insurance to where you dealt with maybe a small insurance company in your area and you deal with that person and they still have a local office and you get a rate increase, call them, make an appointment and go talk to them and find out why are you being penalized? Because they can't group you under this umbrella because everybody else is doing bad. And you can negotiate with them. You might not get much off, but they'll be willing to work with you. And they're not going to do it if we don't voice our opinion. So try to save as much money as you can. And let's all stop thinking that we're always broke. We're not. It's not that we're always broke. It's just that we're just spending too much money on all the lavish things. And yeah, I love nice things. But that doesn't mean that I have to have the latest and greatest of everything that comes out. And I like the fact now that these people are starting to realize, the same ones that was looking down on a lot of people because they didn't have name brand stuff, and kind of find out all this stuff they were spending $200 and $300 for was really worth $20. But you live and you learn. So now here you are, you got a closet full of shoes that at one time you thought they was worth at least $250 a piece. They were $15. It's a bad gamble. It's a bad investment. And I think a lot of that's going to start coming to light now. The more these companies and these manufacturers are starting to have a word and a say so. And based on social media, which actually helps that. Because now people with manufacturing jobs and these owners of these factories, they have a platform that they can reach people with. They don't really have to spend all this money on commercial time. All they have to do is get on social media and talk about their product and tell the consumers what it should actually cost you. And you can buy directly. And now that company's making all the money. See, cutting out the middleman, which is all these stores that a lot of these stores don't even want us to come in there anyway. But they want your money. They want to sell you that $500 purse, but they'll just soon not have you in the store. So be mindful of where you shop. And all this time, we were running around thinking Walmart was putting everybody out of business. It wasn't. We was putting everybody out of business because we was shopping there. Remember how full that store used to be? And now I really believe they don't care anymore. They've made their billions of dollars. Yes, they want to maintain and stay open, but they're really not pushing it that much because they've gotten into other business ventures that's making them a lot of money. So why should we continue to spend all our money in this one particular place when we have all these options and we need to utilize them? I do believe that. I still shop at some of the smaller stores sometimes. Yeah, that half a gallon of milk may be 15 cents more, but this is a family that runs this business. So why not support them? I really believe that. And I wasn't going to get on here this time and stay on here for no hour or two and things of that nature. I just want to get on here and say a few words. And by all means, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. You send your comments, or you can post comments right here, right now. Because like I always say, usually when I'm on here, I'm just talking about something random. Every now and then I may report something from the news, but I figure by the time I've heard it, well, no, let me change that. Because some of us don't even know what's going on in the world. We don't even watch news at all. We don't have an inkling what's going on. And that's why a lot of people are still out here doing the same dumb crimes, because they don't even know that it's risky. But every now and then I might talk about something that's going on in today's news, today's events, except for I don't really get into the news on all these celebrities, because hell, they all know they doing the same old stuff, making the same dumb mistakes, knowing their name's gonna be plastered all over the place. That's more along the lines of drama instead of news. Now, if something happens where they've caused hurt and harm to somebody else, that's a whole nother ball game. But I'm just talking about the fake beef that they have with each other. But you might have two guys out here faking, pretending that they have beef with each other. And now you get this guy over here that he absolutely happened to like this one particular artist. And he's trying to protect that man's name. I don't even know that all that's just a gimmick. Now, he's killed some innocent artist because of a storyline. But then when you put yourself in that limelight and you become a multimillionaire and you're an artist and you're well known and you know you need to be a little bit better protected, I don't think you need to be out there in the streets by yourself anyway. Because you already got a target on your back. Not everybody's gonna like you. You're not as tough as you say you are on those records. And that's why we've lost a lot of artists, because of that. And it can happen to any one of us. Oh, you can get up and just run to the corner, around the corner to the store real quick. Somebody spotted them. I had to name names. This story has happened several times. Somebody spotted him at the store and took him out because he let his guard down. You know, he had enough the way he could have sent somebody to the store. But I don't think we're very cautious when it comes to things like that. And it can happen to any one of us at any given time around any particular corner. But we still have to try to be careful and not put ourselves in harm's way. I mean, think about it sometimes. Think about, you already been out the last 5 weekends. Why don't you stay home one weekend? Give yourself some time to think and reflect. Not only that, it may save you a little bit of money. We didn't all grow up to become heavy consumers and spend every dime that we have. We're supposed to save some. I can't tell you how much to save, but you're supposed to save some. You can't spend it all. I just think that. Especially when I got a check I wasn't expecting, I couldn't wait to blow it. Now, anytime there's some unexpected money coming through, I don't care if it's $10 or $1,000. I'm gonna say that because I wasn't expecting it no way. I don't have to put it towards anything but savings because it was unexpected money. You may get a refund from a particular job you used to work at because of the stock you had. You may get money gonna come your way. And when you're not expecting that money and that check show up in your mailbox, you may not be in a position where you can just save that entire check. You can save 50% of it. Put it into a savings account and don't even think about it. Because they have conditioned us to be heavy consumers, to always buy everything they put out there. And then they're selling you on all these things. They're selling us on products that has not been approved by the FDA. And then we start having side effects from it. And now you got to start buying all this medication. And you got the doctor writing you prescriptions. So that's another way to bleed you dry. So try to save some of that money. We don't have to spend every penny we get. It's not, no, y'all stop. And I'm not sitting here and saying I'm rich and putting nobody down. All I'm saying is save a few dollars. You can save a few dollars here or there. Hello, everybody, once again. If I didn't speak to y'all already, hello once again. But try to save some of that cash. Invest it in something or invest it in somebody else. I'm hoping to be in a position, if my proposition goes well, to invest in this business venture that somebody I know is getting ready to make. And I want to, and I offer to invest in their business as a silent partner. Less than 5% ownership or whatever you want to call it. But I see great potential. And the question is, why don't you do it? I don't have the time to put that much into it. It's going to take a lot. Well, if somebody's doing it and they're seeking some startup cash, hey, I can invest in it. Really can. And the way I looked at it, I don't see myself putting money in that person's pocket and let them be in strict control of it. I can invest in the equipment that they need for this particular venture they're trying to take. So if I invest in equipment is essentially mine. So if the company fails, I can sell the equipment. I won't lose everything. I would lose some money, of course, but by me investing in it and investing in equipment, I have ownership of this guy that's invested in starting off on this venture. So that's where I'm trying to go with it. And I looked at some of the equipment, some of the stuff they were gonna need. And once I talked to him, I offered to invest in the equipment, 2 pieces of equipment that I know that he's gonna need. And they totaled about $1,500. So I said, well, if you're gonna be serious about this venture, I buy those 2 pieces of equipment for you to start off with. That's my investment. That is not a gift. So from his profits, I'm essentially a partner in this. I'm gonna get a percentage. And if the business goes well, and once we draft up my cut, there it is. And also in that draft, for any reason that venture should fail, that business should fail, that equipment, the piece of equipment that I purchased, still is solely mine. So I've already made a little bit of money from investing in his job, his venture. And if it doesn't work, in 2 years, if it fails, I've already received some money back. Plus I got the equipment back that I could sell. So I don't think I would lose in this case. And I know the amount of money that I would receive will be on a percentage basis based on how much work that he generates. So what I receive weekly or monthly is gonna be up and down based on how committed he is. And I think when you have an opportunity to invest in somebody like that, even if it's $100, even if your brother trying to start a car wash business and you want to invest in getting him a pressure washer, but you let him know that, hey, I'm going to expect a little something back. No, you ain't going to get no $1,000 a week. Come on, y'all. Let's just keep it real. Start small. Sometimes you just invest your time. You know, well, I'm helping this guy. Well, I don't know yet until he sit down and think about it. But if I should buy this equipment, and if I decide to invest some of my free time and labor and to help getting it off the ground, no, he's not going to pay me right then. But the sooner he'll start receiving money, the sooner I can start getting money back on my investment. I think I'm gonna set it up monthly. And I'm not gonna worry about is he gonna try to cheat the system, say he only made X amount of dollars. It's gonna be based on a percentage. And if he does everything the way he should, automate it, where he's got his receipts, he could try to step aside of that and start trying to do cash under the table. But he's only gonna cheat himself because he has no real record of how much money he's made. That he's gonna be walking around with the money in his pocket every day. Chances are you probably don't make $600 in one day on this line of work in less than 4 hours. Now you done made the wrong turn. You done lost a whole wad of money. But if you had that direct deposit and you was using other means, people wouldn't be giving you all this cash for you to lose, or you start nibbling off of it because you got that money in your pocket. It's gonna burn a hole in your pocket. You're gonna get a bigger lunch than you normally get. You're gonna stop on the middle of the day and just start shopping off your profits. And that's how a lot of times when we're doing these startup companies, we don't succeed. It's because of that. And there are a lot of people out here that's doing yard service. And some of these guys are doing really well. And they don't just quit when wintertime comes. They have another mean of income, other streams of money coming in. That's just not their only bread and butter. Although spring, summer, even fall, they're making all this money dealing with yards. What are you gonna do in the wintertime? That's where you have something else going on. The only reason why I'm saying this because I know it to be true, because I know somebody that has a yard service. And he's a barber. So that's how you get all his money in the winter, barbering. Still does it during the spring and summer, but he does it off appointment. So I think, and the more I start looking at this, and I used to worry about if I'm able to pay this bill, I'm able to pay that bill. But once I sat down and really started thinking about how much money I was wasting, not the money that I have to spend day to day for day-to-day life essentials, the money I was wasting. And I cut that out. It was like I gave myself a raise. I still go out every now and then. But I don't go to the extreme. I don't do that. I still keep it bare minimum when I go, because I'm not trying to make that company richer because I want to buy a bottle. When I just want to go and have 2 or 3 drinks with my buddies and come on back home and stick with the amount of money I said I was going to spend when I went out. Because I'm trying to tell you, on a typical Thursday, Friday night, it was nothing for me to spend $150, $200 just by hanging out with a couple hours with a couple of buddies. And I was doing that repeatedly because the money was just coming so easy. Every time I didn't have money in my pocket, 24 hours before I spent it. As soon as I get it from somebody, it's gone. That's what I'm trying to say. So if you become a better manager of your own money, you can cut some of that out. And before you realize it, you got a savings account. Or you may be planning on getting married. Before you know it, you know your wedding is going to be 2 years from now. To cut out that party life, that's a lot of money you can put towards that wedding. Because she's going to want a nice wedding. Unless she's been married 4 or 5 times, she don't care. If that's the case, go to the courthouse. A lot of them, these courthouses, you can get married for free. I know one particular county close to me, you get married for free one Friday out the month. So for those of you that want to get married and you and your girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever been married 2 or 3 times and y'all don't want to do all that, you just want to be married, look it up. Free weddings in my county. And they're going to pop up. You just go down to the courthouse. Then you get all the necessary paperwork. Look on that board. It'll tell you when they offer free wedding services. You just save some money. Both of y'all collectively have blown tens of thousands of dollars on past marriages anyway. So why not this time around you save some money on it? That's not being cheap. That's just being cautious. Save all the money you're going to blow on another wedding and maybe invest it in something. A lot of couples now get invested in businesses together. That's nothing new, but I'm just saying it's happening a lot more now. This young lady, although her and I didn't click, she was telling me how much money she was making walking dogs to where she started her own service. And she got 2 or 3 people working for her. Walking somebody's dog because we are too lazy to walk our own dogs. And that's what she does now. Of course, she retired, but then she started that business. And she was selling, from what she was telling me, business was good. And she was just being honest. Warren, you don't know how many people got these pets and they too lazy to walk them. I do. It's true. She has her own business. And when the dogs, she's walking them, and they do their business, she got everything, get up the mess, she dispose of it, and she gone by her way. She even got a couple of clients that trust her to let herself into their houses during the day to go walk that particular dog. That's a custom being walked a certain time of the day. And apparently she was doing pretty good with it. She went from walking dogs for somebody else to figuring out a way to do it on her own. But all it took was a couple of pooper scoopers and some doggy bags. And maybe some treats to calm the dog down until the dog gets used to you. So I think once I talk to this particular guy again, and I'm not going to beat his door down trying to become part of his business, but if he's serious about it, I am going to invest in those 2 pieces of equipment. I think it's a small investment to make. Like I say, if it fails, I got the equipment. I still got full ownership of the equipment. And that's how a lot of these food trucks became successful. A lot of people invested in these guys because the banks was turning us down. They probably had enough credit and enough capital to finance that truck. But what about the rest of the stuff? So you start investing in it. And if you can help and you got full trust and faith in that guy, offer to help him on some of his food truck runs. That way he don't have to pay somebody money he haven't even earned yet because the bank turned him down. He don't really have payroll right now. But he's a hard worker. You want him to succeed. Instead of us hating on our neighbor all the time because they're trying to get their feet off the ground, jump in and help them. It won't be the first time I've done something like this. But I think if it all goes well, he gets this business off the ground, and then he may want to try to increase his business. And I've already received the money back that I invested in that equipment, and I still own that equipment. I may reinvest and get some more equipment for him to get another use of a vehicle or whatever. So I want to get it, put my foot in the door early and establish a base that I'm not going to bother him. I'm not going to worry him about how much he's making, blah, 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 this, that, and the third. Once he's up and running, I really don't expect to see anything in return as far as money within that first month to 6 weeks. And I don't expect no whole lot of money because I know he's just getting started. And we will have all that already hashed out, written out, notarized, the whole 9. Do I own his business? No, I don't. I just got a small percentage of it. Because like I say, if the business does not go well, you still got your equipment that you can resell. So you won't lose all your money. It's a risk, I know, but what is it these days? In fact, the way I see it, for as much as I used to be out, And like I said, 1 month I looked at my receipts and I had spent over $700 or $750 just hanging out at bars and restaurants. Be foolish for me not to invest in this and to buy the 2 pieces of equipment while I have the means to do it. It's a small investment, I know, but it's something that I know I could do, and I can help somebody else, and I can also help myself. That'll be steady money coming in. And you just keep track of it. Every time, I already made myself a point. Every time he send me my little cut, it's going into that same account until I realize that money's been satisfied and I've at least made back my money I invested in that 2 pieces of machinery, and I still have ownership for that machinery. That's still making him money. No, it's not designed to get rich overnight. No, it's not one of these YouTube sensation that blows up overnight. It's going to take some time, and I know it. But he will be providing a service that a lot of us need daily. So there you go. And I'm looking forward to it, if he'll agree upon it. He's got to start somewhere. I'm not trying to do 50-50 split. I'm not trying to manhandle his business. It's a small investment with small return over time. That's all it is. Because I do realize that if it takes off and goes as good as he expects it to go, that equipment will be paid off in no time. I've been able to receive my money in a short period of time. And then the profits start rolling in for me. All he has to do is stick with it. And I already know the type of person he is. He don't like working corporate jobs. He don't like working for people all the time. He always had his own businesses. So this might be one of these things that he's going to do again for 10 or 15 years. I don't know how long, but I know he's done some stuff and he's stuck with it for a while. Yeah. So he has all kinds of skills. I know once he get this equipment, he get everything the way he wants it. He's gonna hit the floor running. I'm not even concerned with that. I know he's gonna make it. I just want to put my foot in the door. And I think for the majority of us, however we can make money without it being illegal, we should act on it. Now, would I help a lot of my friends that way? No, I wouldn't, because they're trifling and they're wasteful. But in this case, I feel like it'll be a good thing to do. It's mighty dark in here, y'all. I would get up and turn on the light, but I'm too lazy right now. But I am going to definitely invest in that situation. I think it's going to be beneficial for me. And when I took my little nap and I woke up, that was the first thing that was on my mind. Then I sent him a text message, reached out to him, asked him, hey, how's everything coming? He said he's pulling it together. He's pulling it together. That's all I needed to know. It was on my mind. Not in the form of greed, but in the form of that. I'm going to talk to him this week. We're going to sit down and I'm really serious. Let him know that, hey, I'm very serious about the proposition I made. This is what I propose. And once he realized that I'm not asking for a whole lot in return, I'm just going to maintain ownership of that 2 pieces of equipment, and I will still receive a small amount monthly. I can't see him saying no, unless he absolutely don't need it. If he don't need it, then hey, that's fine with me. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But in the meantime, everybody, like I said, I'm not going to make this another 2-hour conversation. It's been almost 40 minutes. I said, once again, hello to everybody. So I'm not ignoring anybody that's speaking. I'm just talking about what I talk about. So once again, hello to each and every one of you. And thanks for listening. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. And everybody have a great Sunday afternoon and a Sunday night. Talk to y'all soon. Thank you.